Well, 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 look who showed up. All you guys, yay! Good morning to you all. It is lovely to see you all here. So many wonderful people. We're going to do some music. I think that's a good idea. Why don't you stand with us and join us in with a little help from my friends by the Beatles. It's Beatles.
One, two, three, four. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. Yeah, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. What do I do when my love is away? Does it worry you to be alone? How do I feel by the end of the day? Are you sad because you're on your own? No, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. Gonna try with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? I want somebody to love. Do you believe in a love at first sight? Yes, I'm certain that it happens all the time. What do you see when you turn out the light? I can't tell you, but I know it's mine. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. Gonna try with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? I want somebody to love. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. Yes, I get by with a little help from my friends. A little help from my friends.
I like the Beatles. That's nice. If you would please join us in Unity's statement of faith. All together now. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. Please join us for our second song, which is Blessing to the World by Karen Drucker. And David.
You are the heart, you are the hand, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart. is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice, the spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice, the spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice, the spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice, the spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. I'm a blessing to the world. I'm a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the heart, I am the hands. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the heart, you are the hands. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the heart, we are the hands. I am the heart, you are the hands, we are the heart, we are the hands.
You may be seated.
I want to give a thanks to the band, who are all volunteers, and we appreciate you. And John,
You're
you
welcome,
always
Dee.
pick out the best.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Half the band, you're welcome.
Thank you. That was. Are you done yet? Good morning to all of you out here sitting in the sanctuary. I see some faces I haven't seen in a long time, and I welcome you back. We're glad to see you. And to you online, we welcome you. We're glad that you were with us today. If there's anyone that is here for the very first time, we welcome you. We don't come ring your doorbell or anything like that, but we hope that you'll come back and that you'll talk to some people around you and find out more about who we are. So welcome. Would you check in on Facebook, tell your friends and family that you're here. It's not a big secret. And tell them they should be here too. And then if you turn your phone off, that would be great. Please join me in the mission statement. Our mission is to encourage and inspire spiritual and personal growth by empowering each other to be authentically all that we came here to be. Let's speak together the affirmation for today's daily word reading. I express love and appreciation for those who have blessed and inspired me. Throughout my life, I have been and continue to be influenced in powerfully positive ways by teachers, loving friends, and family. Just as a lighthouse is a much-needed guide to a ship in the storm, these special people have helped guide my way. In celebration of these guiding lights, I take time today to give thanks to God for their love and inspiration. As I travel down the path of life, it is comforting to know that I can learn from the experiences and observations of others. I am able to gain knowledge from the road that they have traveled before me. Today, I express my love and appreciation for the people who have blessed and inspired me. God has given me the wonderful gift of their positive presence in my life. The scripture for today is Genesis 12:2. Let's say it together. I will bless you and make your name great so that you will be a blessing. And join me, let's repeat the affirmation. I express love and appreciation for those who have blessed and inspired me. During prayer and meditation, please hold the following in prayer for their highest and best experience of life: Steve, Christine, Stella, Jessica, Mike, Paul, Joanne, Jeremy, Brenda, Mike, Ashley, Jim, G, Mark, Wendy, Don, Larry, Kim, Mandy, Mary Lou, and anyone for whom you wish us to join you in prayer. We surround and enfold with love several families who have recently lost loved ones. Karen Lowry and family on the loss of her grandson. Mary and Sue Hilsaback Huber and family on the loss of Mary's sister. The family of Tina McManus, who made her transition this week. And as we ring the prayer bowl, we turn our attention within to our heart space, preparing for prayer and meditation. Breathe in a deep breath and focus your attention on the lovely sounds and the vibrations that emanate from the prayer bowl. Feel them resonate to your very center. Focus on the breath as we begin to move into prayer and meditation. Take a breath in, hold, and exhale. Breathe in deeply. Hold and exhale. Again, take a deep breath in. Hold and exhale. Let's begin to relax our bodies, starting at the top of our head, relaxing the forehead, ears, cheeks, jaw, and tongue. Follow your relaxation down your neck and shoulders, arms, elbows, wrists, fingers. Deep breath in, hold, and exhale. Turn your attention to the area of your heart, your very Christ center. Bless every cell in your body, every breath, which is a breath of God. Relax the abdomen and lower back, moving down through your thighs, knees, calves, ankles, feet, and toes. If you find your mind wandering, return your attention to your breath. For all the persons on our prayer list, for each of you and yours, friends and co-workers, families, for all the people on the earth, we send a thought of love healing for the body, mind, finances, and relationships. We call for our faith and the faith of those for whom we pray to give them assurance that all needs are met by our one source, our Creator, God. We visualize peace between peoples and countries and peace of mind for all of us. We give thanks for all the people who have positively influenced our lives, and we set our intention to be a positive influence on the lives of others. Continue to feel the presence of Divine Spirit. Breathe in to the Spirit within as we move further into meditation. We sigh and relax even more. Today's focus is on ourselves and others. We all make a difference in our lives and in the lives of others. We set our intention to be a positive force in this world, to be a positive energy that surrounds the people that we come in contact with. Whether it's our loved ones we're giving a big hug, or another congregant that we are hugging, whether it's a grandchild, a great-grandchild, niece, nephew, sister, brother, father, mother, we choose to be the positive energy that flows to them and through them, energizing them to also make a difference. As we spend time in the silence, bring to mind those that you are so grateful, whether it was a parent or a school teacher, just someone you observed. Give thanks to that person, and then think of someone that you want to make a change, make a difference in their life for the good, this or something better, in the silence.
So it's always great to work with wonderful musicians. So my pleasure to introduce, once again, Rebecca Flynn singing with us. And she's very gracious. It's always like, she always wants to do metal. She's always like, let's do some Megadeth or let's do some Iron Maiden. I'm like, I can't play that. Blaine can't even spell Megadeth. I mean, we're like, it's hard for us to do that. So I'm super grateful. So we dialed it back a little bit with Carole King and You've Got a Friend.
When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand and nothing, whoa, nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, well, I'll come running. Oh yes, I will, to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yeah, yeah, yeah. You got a friend. If the sky above you should turn dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind should begin to blow, put your head together and call my name out loud. Soon you'll hear me knocking upon your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh yes, I will, to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, ain't it good to know that you've got a friend? People can be so cold, they'll hurt you and desert you. They'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh yes, I will, to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yeah, yeah, yeah. You've got a friend. You've got a friend. Ain't it good to know you got a friend? Ain't it good to know you've got a friend? Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Rebecca and our band. It's just so good to have you back up here, Rebecca. And what an amazing band that we have. Good morning, everyone. It's so good to see all of you out there. I just have to kind of look and see who all's here and see who faces, some faces I don't know and some that I haven't seen in a while, and want to say happy birthday to Chris. Glad to have you and your family back here today. It's been a long time since we've seen you. Yay. And welcome to everybody who's online. I know that I just had somebody reach out to me yesterday and tell me that she's been watching online and what a difference it makes that we have this available. And I said, well, that's one of the really good things that came out of COVID, is that we got to start our live stream, and what a difference it's making for so many people. So welcome to all of you who are with us today. From a book called Ano Ano, The Seed, I want to say first, aloha. And what aloha means is the joyful sharing of life energy in the present, or simply joyfully sharing life. And isn't that what we do when we come together on Sunday mornings? It really is a joyful experience, isn't it? I know for me, I walk into this church and I see people who are just so happy and happy to be here. And then we, come together in class, we come together in service, and we're joyfully sharing our life energy. And we get to take this joyful sharing of our life energy out into our homes and into our neighborhoods and into our workplaces and into our communities. And you know what I want to tell you is that makes a difference. It absolutely makes a difference. Your joyful sharing of your life energy, you may kind of feel like you're one small person in the totality of everything, but every individual light is what brings the greater light, right? So you matter. Every single one of you matter. From the book, she says, man himself is the tree of life. What you have been seeking, you already have. For all paths lead home to the inner self. You can teach yourself by being and knowing. You do not need any deeper mysteries to be shown to you. Simply accept your own awareness. Here's a big one. And live in the moment. Do not miss the now. She goes on to say, you will not find God by escaping from the world, but by diving deeper and deeper until you find him at the very core of our existence. God is hidden there. For in dreaming of shining trees outside yourself, you miss the search, the opportunity for growth in this lifetime. You are the tree, and you have all the levels of consciousness lying dormant inside you like seeds awaiting rain. And as I read this, what I actually thought was, in Unity, I think those seeds are no longer dormant in us, that we have been doing the work, haven't we? And that rain, have you noticed, have you guys noticed we've had a lot of rain lately? But isn't it great, because that rain grows plants exponentially, doesn't it? It grows the weeds exponentially too. But it's amazing to me. I know when I went to Las Vegas 2 weekends ago, and I came home in 3 days, our hostas had grown like twice the size in just 3 days. The rain is an amazing fertilization for the plants. And I feel like for us, just all the work that we've been doing throughout the course of our lives, we've tapped into these different levels of consciousness, haven't we? And now these seeds of who we are, of who we have come here to be, they're really blossoming, aren't they? I just feel it. I see it. I see it in us individually. And the exciting thing to me is that collectively, as Unity of Springfield, we have planted some seeds. And I'll tell you, I was going back in my talks, and I think I went clear back to 2011, where I did a couple talks on getting unity into the community, and I thought, now that is patience, because it took us until this past year to really get out in the community. But here we are, and we've only just begun, right? It's exciting. It's so exciting. Okay, so I have had numerous conversations over the past weeks with various people with, 3 mass shootings that took place over a weekend, with just the craziness around people's rights being stripped away, women's rights, LGBTQIA rights, with the war in Ukraine, and so much more that's going on. And in these conversations, we were talking about how sometimes when it becomes so loud and in our face all the time, it's hard for us not to get caught up in the angst and worry about the direction of our country and about the direction of our world. And I want to first say that that's okay. It's okay that we have those feelings, because what I'm going to tell you right now is what is happening is not right. And what is happening is not good. And the reason I say that is because the things that are happening are not of God. They are not of love. They are not of spirit. And that's why it bothers us so much, because these things don't resonate with what we know to be good and true and right, correct? That's why it bothers us so much. But we cannot allow ourselves to become caught up in the cynicism. We cannot allow ourselves to stay in that place, because the world needs us more now than ever. The world needs you and 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 you. And I just want to invite you for a moment, just take a look around and just tell people around you, the world needs you. Tell a few people. You guys are good. That was good. But it's true that what we do makes a difference. So, what can we do? We can do so much. So for this week and the next 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about this week about acknowledging other people who have made a difference. And then for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about ways that we can change our perspective and really be able to see people from a higher place and connect from that deeper level. And when we change our perspective, we change our experience. When we change our experience, we change the world around us. So, does anybody here have interactions with other people? Has anybody's experience ever been changed or influenced because of what somebody else did for you, or even by witnessing what somebody else has done? Yes? Okay. So, I want to share with you today about a woman. Her name is Halise Sparky Bridges, and she wrote the book, Who I Am Makes a Difference, and I love their mission. Their mission statement is uniting humanity through the power of love. What a powerful mission, isn't that? Oh, my goodness. Well, Sparky, because I'm going to call her that, that's what she likes to be, Spark. She is a spark of light. I listened to her on YouTube, I listened to her podcasts, and wow. But I want to tell you a little bit about her. So, Sparky got to a point in her life where she had been married for 18 years, and although from the outside it looked like everything was great, her husband was actually verbally abusive and controlling. And so she hit a place in her life where she hit a very, very, very dark deep place. And she was contemplating suicide. And so she kind of just opened herself up and she said, God, you're going to have to help me get out of this body, because I can no longer do life the way that it's going. Now, I want to first share with you that she was a highly successful real estate agent. He was a highly successful businessman. They lived in California. They had millions of dollars, had the $1 million home, had the cars, had everything that, even like the beginning here talked about that stuff outside of us that we think is going to make us happy. So, for all intents and purposes, it looked like she should be happy, but she wasn't. And she said she heard a voice, and it was so clear. And this voice said to her, you can't take your life, because you're going to sing and dance, and you're going to write a book. And it just hit her so strongly, and she said, okay. So she went to her husband, and she said, I'm going to give up my real estate career, and I'm going to sing and dance, and I'm going to write a book. And of course, he was like, no way that's going to happen. So she went to her best friend, told her best friend that, and her best friend said, Sparky, you can't do that. First of all, you can't carry a tune. You don't know how to dance, and my husband's a publisher. There's no way that you're ever going to write a book. And Sparky said, well, there are people who can counsel me on that. So she went to another friend. This friend gave her the time of an audition on Broadway. So She went to this audition, and she said, there she is. She's with a bunch of 17 to 23-year-olds that were all professionals, and then there's her. So people go through their auditions, and she gets up there, and she starts to sing, and she gets through just a few words, and the director says, stop, stop, stop. She was so out of tune, and said, speed up the song. So she gets through her 4 bars, and she's standing there, and she said, she's just got this big smile on her face, and nothing. So she said, well, how'd y'all like it? And she said, all of a sudden, people just started clapping, and they clapped and clapped and clapped, and she got the part because they thought that she was a professional comedian, and this was a comedy. I mean, that tells you about the spark of her spirit, right? That she could just be so present to, like, this is what I'm called to do. Well, within time, she did that for a while, and then she just got to the point where she realized she could no longer stay in her marriage, and so she left her marriage. But during that time, she was really thinking about the fact that the realization was coming to her that what people really needed was people needed to be acknowledged. People needed to be seen. People needed to be valued. And so what she was guided to do was take her last $500 and go buy these buttons that say, who I am makes a difference. So let me go here. So what she did was she just went around and she started handing out these buttons. She just started going up and putting these buttons on people, and she gave out all 500 buttons. And then she went away for a year and a half, and she just really found herself during that time. So she said when she came back, she really didn't know what she was going to do, but all of a sudden a woman came up to her, and she said, you're that woman who gave me that button that says who I am makes a difference. I keep it in my medicine cabinet. And she said, really? And she said, yeah. She said, I'm a teacher. And she said, when I get home from work, I immediately start grading papers, and I get dinner on. And then my kids come home from school, and they just drop their books, everything that they have on the floor, and they say, what's for dinner, Mom? And then my husband gets home, and he goes into the refrigerator, grabs a beer, pops the beer open, goes in, sits down, and turns the TV on and says, what's for dinner? And she said, I get a headache every night because she's so overwhelmed. So she said, but what I do is I go in to my medicine cabinet, and I open that medicine cabinet, and I see that button that says who I am makes a difference, and I remember that who I am makes a difference, and I have not had to take any medication in a year and a half because of that button. Another man came up to her and said, you're that lady who put that button on me. Do you remember? And she said, well, I do remember. And he said, I was out roller skating with my son, and you came up to me, and you gave me the button, and you said, you are an incredible father. You make such a difference in your son's life. You are an incredible father. And he said, I just closed a huge, like a $500,000 deal for the company that he worked for, and nobody said thank you to him. And he said, but I have that button where I can see it, and when I go home, I see that button, and it reminds me that who I am makes a difference, that I am a great father. So this really then inspired her to be open to how this could show up. So ultimately what happened was she came up with the ribbons of who I am makes a difference. She started out with just a small group, and what she would do is she would give somebody, she would put the ribbon on, and then she would give them 2 more, and she would ask them to go out and to acknowledge 2 other people. And to this day, there's well over 50 million people, well over 50 million, because actually the story ran in the Chicken Soup for the Soul years ago, so I'm sure there's many, many more than that at this point, who have been touched by the Blue Ribbon experience. Now, although this today is not quote-unquote about you making a difference, know that you do make a difference when you acknowledge somebody else and how they make a difference. The ripple effect is an incredibly beautiful thing. And here's the thing, you will never know the full effect of you giving that ribbon, but I'll share with you a couple stories. So what Halise found is that acknowledgement is what was missing in our society, that when people receive acknowledgement, their physical, social, and emotional lives are significantly improved. And when people were healthy, creative, and confident, so were others around them. And doesn't that just make sense? When somebody acknowledges you, how do you feel? You expand, don't you? And when you expand and you take that energy out, it's an expansive energy, you're more likely to share that expansive energy with other people. You're more likely to be creative. You're more likely to see things from a different viewpoint. So she shared a story. This is just a quick one because this one just cracked me up. She shared the story that one day she was at a big book signing thing, and she said there were 30,000 people in and out of this, and she and a friend of hers were the last two to leave, and this was in Los Angeles. And so they were walking down to their car in a big parking lot, and as they were walking, all of a sudden a big 6'2" guy came up walking behind them, and he had a gun. And he wanted all their money. And she said, my friend immediately grabbed her purse and kind of stood back, but she said she'd been doing this work long enough that she said, I only look for the good in people. So this little sparky woman turned around and looked at him, and she said, may I give you a gift? And he kind of looked at her, and she said, she said, I want to acknowledge you for asking for what you want, because not many people know how to ask for what they want. And she said, may I put this on you? And he just kind of like, yes. And so she put the ribbon on him, and she said, this points up to all of your dreams coming true. And then she always touches it with a bing. And she said, and she gave him 2 more. And she said, now go and tell 2 other people what a difference they've made. And she said she just turned around and walked away and went to her car, and that was the end of it. And it wasn't until she was writing her book that that her friend said, do you remember that story about the guy in the parking lot? I don't advise that. but that was pretty amazing anyway. Okay, let me figure out where I am here, because I moved my pages all over. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to share with you one of the biggest stories, and this was a story that did run in Chicken Soup for the Soul and actually had a movie created about it. And this was a teacher who decided that she wanted to acknowledge her seniors in high school. And so she got the blue ribbons, and one by one she had the seniors come up, and she told them why they made a difference. And she put the blue ribbon on them, and she gave them 2 more. And she said, I want to do an experiment. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take these, and I'd like you to give it to one person and ask them to give it to somebody else, and then come back and report to me. So one of the students took the ribbons to a junior executive in a company who had really helped him with his career. So he went to him and he told him why he made the difference. Do you accept this gift? May I put it on you? This is for your dreams. And the junior executive, accepted it and said, thank you. And he said, well, we're doing this class project, and so I have this other ribbon. So would you take this ribbon and would you give it to somebody who's made a difference for you and then report back to me? So he said, yes. So the junior executive went to the owner of the company, who was known to be a very grumpy person. This man just was not a kind person. He did not acknowledge people in his company. But he went to him and he said, I want to acknowledge you because you are such a creative genius. What you have done with this company is amazing. May I give you this ribbon? So it goes through the whole process. Yes. So he says, they're doing this project. Would you take this and give this to somebody else? So on the way home, the father, the man, he was a father, and he was just so taken by the fact that somebody acknowledged him for this. So he gets home, and let me go to this. Okay. He gets home, and he came home to his 14-year-old son, and he sat him down. So I'm going to read this to you. He said, the most incredible thing happened to me today. I was in my office, and one of the junior executives came in and told me that he admired me and gave me a blue ribbon for being a creative genius. Imagine that. He thinks I'm a creative genius. Then he put this blue ribbon on me that says, who I am makes a difference, on my jacket above my heart. And he gave me an extra ribbon that asked me to find somebody else to honor. And as I was driving home tonight, I started thinking about whom I might honor with this, and I thought about you. I want to honor you. He said, my days are really hectic, and when I come home, I don't pay a lot of attention to you. And sometimes I scream at you for not getting good enough grades in school and for your bedroom being a mess. But somehow tonight, I just wanted to sit here and, well, just let you know that you do make a difference to me. Besides your mother, you are the most important person in my life. You are a great kid, and I love you. And the startled boy just began to sob, and he couldn't stop crying. And his whole body shook, and he looked up at his father, and through his tears, he said, I was planning on committing suicide tomorrow, Dad, because I didn't think that you loved me, and now I don't need to. The dad obviously went back to work, a changed man, I'm sure a changed father. He started treating his employees better, and like I said, this was ultimately made into a mini movie because it was such an impactful and a powerful thing. And that's the thing about this, is recognizing the powerful effect of acknowledgement, the powerful effect of making sure that the people in your life know what they mean to you, that they know how you value them, and that you love them, and what a difference that they make in your life. So I was working on my talk this morning, and I changed things all around, and I made notes to where to go. So, okay, so Proverbs 18:21 tells us that the tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. And isn't that true? You can cut somebody down, or you can be cut down, but we also have the ability to use the power of our words to uplift and expand. Who wants to be an uplifter and an expander? All of us should, yeah. We want to be uplifters and expanders. Alfred North Whitehead said, no one who achieves success does so without acknowledging the help of others. The wise and confident acknowledge this help with gratitude. So what I want to encourage you to do, if you want to change the dynamics of your work environment, if you want to change the dynamics of your home environment, if you want to change the dynamics of your neighborhood or of your community, is to start acknowledging the people around you. I was just listening to something yesterday, I think it was, and it was talking about how no, actually, this is my talk for next week. It was about how it's so easy for us to see the negative in people. Our job is to start seeing the good, and to know that the good far outweighs any negative that we're seeing. And Charles Fillmore, that's what he talked about. You know, love insists that good is there, until that good appears uppermost in itself and in all things. We insist that we are going to see the good, and then we acknowledge that good. You can change somebody's life, literally change their life, by sharing that with them. That's powerful, isn't it? You know, so if you have children, I want to encourage you, tell your children why they make a difference for you. Tell them, and praise them. If you have family dynamics that aren't working so well, I want to encourage you to think about the good in the people and how you can start acknowledging and giving praise for that. So here's the thing. She said the thing that this is an important step. First, you want to say, do you accept this gift? Because you don't want them to think they're going to have to pay for something. So do you accept this gift? And then you ask for permission. Do I have permission to place it on you? And the reason, she said, you want to put it right above their heart. And the did I bring them up? I did, didn't I? Yes. And you want to have it so that it goes up, so that it is, and the idea is that you say to them that it's right above your heart and points upward towards all of your dreams coming true. And then she has this little thing that she does where she says, and the sound of your dreams coming true is bing. And then you give them one or two more, and you ask them to go and to share these gifts as well. So I'm going to model this for you this morning, and I was very delighted that this couple happened to sit up front and right here this morning, because you are the ones that I thought of. Because with Don and Wendy, we see what Don and Wendy do as they come into the church office multiple times during the week, and especially during our crisis cold weather shelter or anything that we have going on. They are the most giving, thoughtful people that you will ever know. And like all throughout the crisis cold weather shelter, here they are coming in, they've stopped at yard sales or they've stopped someplace else and they're bringing things in, or they're asking, what do you guys need? Do you need food? Do you need this? Do you need that? They'll go get it, or they'll give money, or just taking people in and giving them the opportunity to get on their feet and making that difference for them. So, Don and Wendy, will you accept this gift? And may I place it on you? Absolutely. Let's see. Who you are makes a difference. And obviously, these are pointing up to all of your dreams coming true. I know you have many wonderful dreams. And the sound of those dreams coming true is bing. But who you are does make a difference, and I'm delighted that today I had the opportunity to share this with you. And I will have extras to be able to give to pass out, but thank you for all that you give and all that you do, all the ways that you make such a difference. Thank you. Now, I ordered 200 more that should be in by next Saturday. So my hope is, here's the thing, you guys all got a ribbon today. Did anybody not get a ribbon? Okay, so you all got a ribbon today. And online, if you want ribbons, please let us know. We will send them to you. I have ordered 200 more, and they'll be available for just a small donation. I want to encourage you next week to come in and get some ribbons to hand out, because here's the thing, you guys, we get to be the difference makers. You and I, we get to be the difference makers. We at Unity of Springfield, the Unity of Springfield people, we can be known for our love and our compassion and our kindness and our connection, for our desire to be in that service to oneness. We, as Unity of Springfield people, we get to be known for our involvement in our community as a whole, in really making a powerful and positive and impactful difference. So let us all be difference makers. Are you guys all up with being difference makers? Yes, yes. So next week I will have more ribbons, so you'll be able to take these out. I want to encourage you with the ribbon that you have to take that and to give that to somebody and to let them know what a difference that they have made in your life. So I want to close with two things today. This is the at the end of the Ano book. I didn't put it on there. But it says, give love and compassion and hospitality and trust to all that you meet. The life force itself, emanating from a great universal source, will be returned to you on the river of life. For in that magic moment, the manna flows two ways, to the source and back again. It is in the giving that we are receiving, yes? It is. But it is in the giving that we are making a huge difference. And the other thing I'm going to ask you to do, if you will please all stand with me. And this is Gandhi's prayer for peace. And here's what I'm going to encourage us to do. If you have somebody in particular that you want to say this prayer for, I'm going to encourage you to bring that picture of that person to mind. If you don't have a particular person, let us just give this prayer to the world. Because here's what I want to tell you. The consciousness that we bring, it does make a difference. Every single light, every single candle that is lit adds to the totality of the whole. So what we're going to do here this morning is a huge energy. It's a huge vibration that is going to emanate from this space, and it's going to go out into our community, and it's ultimately going to go out into our world, and it is going to make a difference in ways that we haven't even yet comprehended. So if you will say this with me, and those online will join us too. Together, I offer you peace, I offer you love, I offer you friendship, I see your beauty, I hear your need, I feel your feelings, my wisdom flows from the highest source, and I salute that source in you. Let us work together for unity and peace, and amen. And amen, and namaste, namaste. And you may be seated. That was really just my way of getting a standing ovation. Just kidding. You know, it's kind of like part church, part comedy show with Mitch and I. We never know. Okay, as our band and our ushers are coming forward, we have this opportunity to support who we are, here to be together, what we are creating together in this beautiful ministry, and how we are reaching out beyond these walls. So I'm going to invite you to take your gifts, take the energy of your gifts in your hands, and let's bless them together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and thank you, God.
And once again, Ms. Rebecca Flynn with Obey Your Master by Metallica. Yeah. Sorry, Shower the People, Shower the People. James Taylor. That's my bad. I know, I'm sorry. I really...
You can play the game and you can act out the part, though you know it wasn't written for you. But tell me how you're gonna stand there with a broken heart, ashamed of acting the fool. One thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will hear what I say. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. And what you gonna do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone? Or once you tell somebody the way that you feel it beginning to grow. I think it's true what they say about that squeaky wheel, always getting the grease. It's better to shower the people
I'll take a pass on that. That's fine. So many thanks to the volunteers for their service and to those who served for the Volunteer Appreciation Saturday, which made those people that volunteered volunteers. So, no, they didn't. It's a weird and vicious cycle of love. I don't know what we preach here, but that's good stuff. The monthly board meeting was changed to Monday, the